Okay, it is 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call this regular meeting of the Board of Finance to order. For the record, today is January 16th, 2024, and we are doing a hybrid meeting this evening. So Board of Finance members attending in person in the auditorium are member Lorraine Pesky and Wendy Traub. Participating via Zoom, I have Board of Finance member Jim Wright, Deb Iannacido, and I do believe I saw Christopher Anderson sign on. So we have our quorum, and before we begin the meeting, could we please stand and pledge the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, it's a short agenda, so I won't keep everyone too long. Item number 1 on the agenda, there is no public present. So I'm going to skip over item number 1 and move right into item number 2. I will entertain a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from December 19th, 2023.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Do I have a second? I see Deb Iannacido shaking her head. Yes, I hear. So I have a second from
trying to find that mute button.
Mrs. Iannacido. Are there any questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
And an abstention for the record is a Board of Finance member, Wendy Traub. Moving into item 3, I will entertain a motion to accept the Board of Education budget performance report.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Pesky.
Second.
And seconded by Mrs. Traub. And I don't really call for questions on this because it's only an acceptance of the report. But if there are any questions or comments that you wish to make a note of, I've invited the Board of Education to our next regular meeting for 2 purposes. To review the budget performance report. We're halfway through the year. It's a nice opportunity for us to check in with them. They also, in the closeout of fiscal year 23, have a budget surplus request that they would like to submit. And their capital plan has been submitted to the city. And again, an opportunity for us. We haven't done it in the past, but I think an opportunity for us to review that capital plan with the Board of Education.
Can we come and get that capital plan ahead of?
It wasn't sent out to them when they sent it into us. That's right. Okay. All right. Yes. So by charter, it's due on the 31st of December. I met with the superintendent, I think on January 2nd. He delivered it a few days after that. So they were within the timeline to submit it. In light of last year, they had done the conditions assessment, the facilities condition assessment report. I think this is a really good opportunity for us to go over those capital plans, just see what we can tick off. I think it's something that we always receive shortly after December 31st. And then we go right into the operating budget, and it frequently is forgotten, not by the Board of Finance, but as the Board of Education makes their way through the operating budget, and you know, the detail and the percentages, it's frequently overlooked that that's a part of their request to the Board of Finance. So if everybody is comfortable with that, in our February meeting, I will ask them to attend.
Well, I have
we
a
already
question.
did. I'm sorry, Ms. Iannacido, what was the question?
Sorry. So the capital plan is just their requests, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, and those requests are reviewed in context to funding.
Right. Okay.
When the budget is adopted and the mill rate is set.
Okay.
So I think we did invite them for this evening's meeting, but they weren't able to attend. So that's why we're going into February with that. Any other thoughts, suggestions, questions? All right. Well, then I will call the motion on the acceptance of the budget performance reports. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Thank you. All right. Item 4 is business by department heads. I'll entertain a motion to consider business by department heads present.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. And seconded by Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You need a screen in front of you so you know what's going on. So, all right. Business, the department heads present this evening. He is in camera shot. So we have our new comptroller flying solo this evening, John Monks. Is there anything you want to inform the board of, go over? Okay. I think the only thing that I would let the board know is I met with John and his team. We have a new budget manager. Her name is Erica Johnson. We actually lucked out. She moved onto the city side from the Board of Education side. I think she's doing a great job hitting the ground running, understanding the nuances of budget adoption and, more importantly, our software system. And our new deputy comptroller, who started on January 2nd, is, why am I drawing a complete blank? Olivia DeRosa. And again, lucked out. Olivia used to work for Bloom Shapiro. So our meeting this afternoon, first meeting of the team, was to divide and conquer, separating out responsibilities for the audit, the budget development, and looking to wrap up year-end, those annual filings, 1099s, W-2s, all of that. So John is really quite busy. And Alice Prue is still on board as a consultant. So I'm hoping in the next 6 months, you're going to start to see things gel for us. Say that. I shouldn't say I hope. I am absolutely confident. So, anything else you could think of? All right. Anything from the city clerk's office? All right, then I'll move into item number 5 and entertain a motion to consider business by mayor and members.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Traub, seconded by Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I'll go to the Zoom room first. Anything this evening, Mr. Wright?
No, everything's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Inacito?
All set.
Okay. And Mr. Anderson?
It's the time of year I start looking forward to your spreadsheet. So
Yeah.
nothing further. Everyone drive safe. It's slippery out.
Thank you. Mrs. Pesky
Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you.
and Mrs. Traub.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Did we get you the budget books? I know Heather was going to work on pulling that together. Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. So now here's where I tap this board a tad bit more. I, as you know, in the past have established a budget subcommittee. This is a subcommittee that works with every single department head and goes through their department budgets, their budget requests with a fine-tooth comb. I am looking for 2 representatives from the Board of Finance and hoping for volunteers as opposed to my blindly. Thank you, Mrs. Traub.
What day are you of the week?
I would work with your schedules to do this at a time that's convenient. As you know, that we've finally got it down to a 4 evening event, starting a little bit earlier. If we start at 5 o'clock, try to get out of here before 7 o'clock. The big budgets that we really hit up, the ones that are really the meat of our budgets, are police and fire or public safety budgets, and then public works. So I would work with you. Is there a day of the week?
I can't do Thursdays,
Thursdays are out? Okay,
hockey day.
all right. I haven't even asked John and his team what days work for them, but what I'll do is I was waiting for council members. I think I'm waiting for one more volunteer in council. And then I'll throw together a budget subcommittee schedule, and you can give it your blessings or some guidance. And then we'll get to work. That won't begin until after February 15th. February 15th is by chart of the day. Department head requests will be dropped on council and Board of Finance. So we're probably looking at close to the beginning of March before we get into those budget committee meetings, where there's still some daylight at 4:30 in the afternoon. So I know, really, yes.
And we change the
So-
clocks on March 10th.
Do we really?
Well, then it
Oh.
will be. It will be.
It may be light at 6.
Yeah.
So, other than, the standard direction to the department heads, to bring in their budgets lean, if there's any other thought that you have as a board that ultimately, at the end of this process, has to look at this through the lens of, can the taxpayers afford this? Any suggestions or recommendations along the way, throw them out to us. We'll make sure that we relay the information to the department heads.
While we're on that subject,
Yes.
I would like us to consider a social services director.
Social Services Director. So we are looking to hire a social worker, but it's through the opioid task force funding, so it won't be in our operating budget.
Okay.
It will be out of the opioid task force money. And actually, we were looking to embed it in the police department. Does that hit the mark here?
No,
Okay.
no. I'm thinking of the homeless, it's what we just went through, the number of children in the school system who are homeless or couch surfing or whatever, or the amount of need in the city of
Right.
Torrington. I mean, it's a position that we used to have many moons ago.
I was going to say about 30 years ago, I think there was
Wasn't
a whole
Owen,
office.
wasn't Owen,
Oh, was it Owen?
seems to me
And
that, I mean, it
18.
was a long time ago, I know.
Yeah, it's about
But I
25
think
years.
we're finding that a budget manager is a good idea. Doing the things that you're doing with the positions in maintenance, getting the additional skills and having that. So having someone in the city, so that's not falling to various people, and especially now that you don't as mayor no longer have an administrative you have an administrative assistant, but you used to have
An aide.
yeah.
Yeah. Was never a social worker. All right, I'll add that.
I understand it's money, but I think we've seen how needy the city is and how responsible the city has become for the entire northwest corner. Because it bothers me a lot to see headlines in the paper for Torrington's homeless. They're not just Torrington's homeless, and so that's where that's coming from for me.
Got it. All right, we will figure out a way to do that. And as you say it, maybe what we are finding also is now that we have this Fair Rent Commission, which in and of itself almost requires some dedicated staff time. Maybe this is a part of those responsibilities. So
And what are we doing with the NIPS money?
NIPS money is funding our recycling coordinator, Linda Orr, that's a part-time position. And that's about half of the NIPS money that's used for that. And the rest is being put into a capital reserve account for some other recycling initiatives or potential acquisition of equipment. And this is one of the things that I did address with the council at our last meeting. So we have the opioid settlement funds, we have our cannabis money, and we have the NIPS. And these are all revenues that the state strictly mandates how they can be spent. And my goal for all of these is to start with quarterly reports of how much has been received, where are the funds being spent, you know, in compliance with. And that will be done essentially in the same format that this board receives budget performance reports. They'll essentially be performance reports that need to be accepted. Although certainly any recommendations on other funding initiatives, I think would be helpful. The opioid settlement funds, I'm still trying to figure out when we're supposed to be getting these funds. We received the first round of settlement funds August of 2022 and a little bit in 2023 and nothing since. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of what the payment schedule is for those. But it's to date, it's about $120,000. The cannabis revenue to date is running around $130,000. And the NIPS funding is somewhere around 35 to 40,000. So not a lot of money, but certainly funds that can help chip away at some of these other needs that are consistent with the types of demand that these underlying sources have created.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. And Mrs. Traub, anything this evening?
Nope.
All right. If there is nothing else before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Thank you, Ms. Iannacido. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.